Oh, alright. Let's see if we can't find the stream then. Hopefully it isn't too far away. The cause F1. There's the stream there, loading onto the channel as I speak. Oh, that loaded up pretty quick. Good job, Twitch. Helping me out for once. Bot's working as well, so that's fantastic. We won't have to wait for too long. I don't think we'll have any more drivers joining us for this event. Only 13, which is disappointing, but you know, at this point I'm not particularly surprised. Still got some pretty quick drivers in here though, so hopefully we get to have an entertaining stream. There's a ready up signal from the Moo, so we shouldn't be too far away from moving to the beginning of qualifying. There's the timer. When the timer hits 0 and the screen cuts to black, I'll start the intro as per normal. I think you know the drill by now. Hello everyone and welcome to round 13 of the AM1 Championship here on Contest of Speed. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and today we're racing at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Known as Monaco without the walls, this racetrack was constructed near the city of Budapest in 1986 and has become a permanent spot on the Formula One calendar for almost 40 years. Its nickname comes from the difficult-to-pass nature of the racetrack, similar to Monaco. But don't be fooled, as it might be difficult to overtake, the Hungaroring is certainly capable of creating interesting races, both in real life and here in the virtual world. The circuit measures up at 2.72 miles. It consists of 14 turns and 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1 and Turn 2. Outside of these areas, the drivers must deal with several nasty curbs dotted around the circuit, namely the inside curbs at Turn 2, Turn 4 and Turn 5. They're all well known in the league racing community as being major tripping hazards on the circuit. Beyond those corners, the drivers must also tackle the fast and technical S section formed by turns 8 through 11, with the most noteworthy of these corners being Turn 11 itself. The way it's designed forces the driver to be right on the racing line. Too wide through the corner, the driver will be awarded with a track limits warning, which usually results in a time penalty if you accumulate enough of them. Too tight through the corner though and touch the inside curb, driver will likely spin out and bury themselves into a barrier that lines the racetrack. Now, with all of that in mind, qualifying will be incredibly important for achieving victory today to gain track position early and keep overtaking to a minimum. But before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Suzuka. Just briefly forgot what our last round was. It was at Suzuka. But no incident reports from what I could tell, so no time penalties, no nothing being dished out post-race, so the final finishing positions remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it's a two-way fight between Vermoo and Barmer at the top of the table, with Vermoo leading the way on 197 points, followed by Barmer on 196, literally 1 point separating the top two in the Drivers' Championship. Darth Vader is third on 90, a considerable way behind. I think he's now out of mathematical contention of being in the championship fight. Electric Blade is next on 78, followed by Cam Tizzle on 71, Bursey on 53, Stubbly on 52, Switchback on 39, and Elite Game Boy on 34. Saint rounds out the top 10 on 20 points. In the Constructors, it's a similar story as in the Drivers' Championship. It's a tight fight between Ferrari and Red Bull. Ferrari are leading the way on 265 points, followed by Red Bull on 260, just 5 points separating the top two, with Alpine in third on 149. Haas are next on 144. Williams round out the top 5 on 106, followed by McLaren on 89, Aston Martin on 49, Alfa Romeo on 43, AlphaTauri on 38, and Mercedes at the bottom on 25. Now riding on board here with Grim, I'm going to give you a tour of this 2.7 mile racetrack. Down towards turn 1, entry speed 190 miles an hour. As he brings it down to second gear, will he short shift on the exit? Not quite. Using all of the gears, heading up towards turn 2. The second best overtaking spot on the racetrack. Just clipping the inside curb. You don't want to touch too much of it, otherwise the car will spin round. Out of turn 3, climbing up the hill towards turn 4. One of the most difficult corners in all of Formula 1. Very safe there from Grim as he heads around turn 5 while avoiding that inside curb. Car did step out on him a little bit, but he kept it under control. Through the chicane of 6 and 7, and into the S section we go. Turn 8, the left-hander, around turn 9, keeping it in 4th gear. Eventually reaching full throttle as he heads around turn 10 and up towards the notorious turn 11. Very tidy there from Grim as he heads into the final sector of the racetrack. Only 3 corners here. Turn 12, then towards turn 13, bring it down to second gear, nice and gently reapplying the power, and then the final corner, turn 14. A long right-hand sweeper where you have to be so patient on the accelerator. He eventually reaches full throttle, opens DRS, crosses the line. So it's a 17.659, currently P2 on the board. Got a couple of drivers. Oh, dearie me, we got one driver in the barrier. As Berzy's arriving on the scene, Schulz has crashed out. He's lost control through turn 11, and he buried himself in a barrier. I mentioned that in the intro. It is so easy to do through turn 11. No surprises at the moment at the top, with Drake Dempsey currently occupying provisional pole position with a 15.282. Currently 3.5 tenths in front of Barmer in P2. The only 2 drivers in the 15s. Tidy exit out of turn 13 and around turn 14. Back onto the main straightaway. Complete the lap. No Name will set a 18.219. Currently second slowest out of the time set. Red Arrow making his way through the final part of the lap. Not using any battery. You can tell from the flashing red lights on the back of the car. Does a 25.6, not at all representative what he can do. Vermeulen on a lap, not quite. Gonna chuck it down into neutral. Need to hold the... Oh, it's not recharging battery. Interesting. Don't know why it wasn't recharging battery. That's quite peculiar. Typically when you shift it into neutral and rev it out, you're able to recharge the batteries quite quickly, but it seems like you can't do that anymore. Maybe there was a hot fix that wasn't pointed out by EA or Codemasters that fixed that, because typically, yeah, you can recharge the battery. By doing that, you put the car into neutral, rev the car out, and it recharges the battery, but yeah, didn't do that. Very strange. There must have been a hot fix that repaired that. Matty Robbo begins a flying lap heading down towards turn 1. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Hello, Go Coding Motocross, and hello, Death Storm. How am I? Not too bad. Not too bad as always. Had some interesting races to commentate this week. Had a very interesting race on Sunday at Azerbaijan, which... it was below average. That's probably the politest way of putting it. But you get those every now and then when you get drivers just doing silly things, a bit like that from Matty Robbo. Although, you know, going through turn 4, that's really easy to do. It's a nasty corner. He eventually gets the car going. Here comes his substitute teammate Harris, making his way through turn 5. But no, like every week, it's pretty chill. Learn a few things, do a few things. Nothing too incredibly special. Now Harris making his way through the S's. It's a very tricky part of the racetrack. You do need a little bit of extra downforce through here. And that does hold you back in the race. Like, those little bits of extra downforce really do hold you back. Trying to make passes and trying to defend position, because the guy behind you DRS low wings turn themselves into a rocket ship down the main straightaway. Really have to work hard in the middle sector when you've got a high downforce setup. Try and gain as much time as you possibly can. Burzy on an out lap, same with Grim. Chase beginning a flying lap, making his way down towards turn 1. What kind of entry speed we'll see here from Chase? It's going to be 194 miles an hour. Makes his way out of turn 1 and heads down the hill towards turn 2. 7th gear, bring it down to 3rd. Back on the accelerator, nice and easy, putting the power down as he heads through turn 3. They're climbing up the hill towards turn 4. The notorious left-hander of turn 4. Bit wide, and there's an invalidated lap. It's that simple. Not too much of a mistake, but it's just enough. It's a validated lap for Chase. Vermeulen exiting turn 3. He's making his way up towards the notorious turn 4. 6th gear, chucks it through. No complications for Vermeulen as he makes his way around turn 5. There is a McLaren in front of Drake, who is doing some lawn mowing in his McLaren. Tidy exit out of the chicane. Into the S as we go. Turn 8, turn 9. As Drake disqualifies himself. Alright, so he'll be starting from the back. Yeah, not too surprising. Out of turn 11. Oh, that is an Alpine stationary there. That must be Chase, is it? It is. He got well out of the way. I thought he put himself in the barrier. But no, he just parked the car off the side of the road, let Vermeulen through. As Vermeulen comes around the final corner on the racetrack. Can he challenge Barmer for provisional pole position? The answer is no, not quite. Missing out by 1/10 of a second. Chase getting ready for another run. Heading down into turn 1. He breaks 3rd gear, clipping the apex back on the power as he heads down the hill towards turn 2. Shifting it into 7th gear. He'll bring it back down to 3rd. Back on the power, nice and easy. Round turn 3. Then up towards turn 4. This is where he got it wrong last time. No such worries, it seems, this time around. He hasn't invalidated the run just yet. Oh, but a huge slide. Humongous slide out of turn 5. Great catch, though, to save that car. And another slide out of turn 7. This middle sector has been a bit scruffy. The car's loose and all over the place. It's either Matty Robbo or Harris. Off to the side of the road, letting Chase through as Chase invalidates. At turn 11, that's what I mean. If you're not on the racing line through 11, you understeer wide, it's a track limits warning. You get one of those, it's an instant invalidated lap. Burzy now P3 with a 16.7. Grim making his way through the final part of the lap. It appears that he is pushing. Just wondering if he's trying to get back into the pits or he's going to complete this lap. No, he's going to complete the lap. He'll make his way around the final corner, turn 14, and back onto the main straightaway. He'll cross the line to set a 17.669. Does not improve. Misses out by 1/100th of a second. Red Arrow, meanwhile, is up by half a second to the first sector. And all that time is gone now with a spin out of turn 9. Very loose racetrack on Hungaroring, especially with these kinds of temperatures. It's going to be overcast through both sessions, through both qualifying and in the race. The track temps are low compared to what they usually are in something like time trial. Drivers need to be aware of that. DK, you're not on the proper flyer. Last time I checked, 7th gear isn't a particularly good gear to use through turn 9 there. But he's getting ready for a flying lap attempt. He's trying to save up as much battery as he can. He'll line himself up, heading towards the final corner, and send it. Here we go. 5th gear, back down to 4th. And back on the power as he exits the final turn and sends it down the main straightaway. I do believe Harris improved as well to a 17.5. He's less than 1/10 behind Nortec. Makes his way through turn 1. As Harris getting out of the way. We head down the hill towards turn 2. On the brakes, down to 4th, down to 3rd gear. Back on the power, nice and steady as he heads around turn 3. Climbs up the hill towards the first sector split. Clock says for Nortec, he's down by a 1/10 of a second, so needs to work hard here through the middle part of the lap to try and recover time. He's still pushing, still using battery as he heads into the chicane of 6 and 7. Now around turn 8, up towards turn 9. Tidy middle sector so far. Heads around turn 11. Gets around the notorious right-hander. He's up by just under 3.5 tenths to the middle sector. Now around turn 13, the penultimate corner on the racetrack, and there's a spinning Aston right in front of him. Hopefully that didn't distract him too much as he heads around the final corner, turn 14, back onto the main straightaway with DRS open. He will improve to P4 with a 17.287. Now Red Arrow moves back into pit lane after his earlier spin. His rear tyres are off the scale hot. Like they were at 104 degrees after his spin. They were properly hot. Hopefully he's not running with too high tyre pressures, otherwise he's going to have a really hard time controlling that car during the race. Really important that you run pretty low tyre pressures in both qualifying and in the race so you can manage your tyre temperatures accordingly, because if they're too high, there is no way to try and manage tyre temps. They just skyrocket when the tyre pressures are too high. Into turn 1. Nice and steady, 2nd gear. No short shift. Makes his way down towards turn 2. 7th gear. Bring it down to 3rd. Back on the power. Through turn 3. Climbing up the hill towards the first sector split. What does the clock say for Chase? He's down. Not by much, but he is down. Oh, and he did the same thing last time. Did the exact same thing that he did last time. Went wide at turn 4, invalidating the lap. Bursey does no such thing as he makes his way round turn 5, climbing up the hill towards the chicane of 6 and 7. Back down to 4th gear, back on the power, clobbering too much of the turn 7 curb. He invalidates the lap. We've got 3 minutes left in qualifying, so the drivers need to be wary of that qualifying clock. Don't want to leave it too late. Vermeil on an out lap, getting himself ready. Grimm on a flying lap, making his way out of turn 2 and around turn 3, up towards the first sector split. The clock says for the Mercedes driver, he is up by a fair chunk. He's found a 1/10.5 in the first sector. He'll make his way around turn 5, up towards the chicane of 6 and 7. AlphaTauri just in front. That would be Dream. He's the only AlphaTauri in the race. Out of turn 8, round turn 9. Towards the left of turn 10, Dream. How's he doing? Oh, he spins! Oh, dearie me. He keeps it out of the barrier. But that lap is ruined. Out of turn 12, down towards turn 13. Nice and steady. Gently reapplying the power. You have to be so patient through these final 2 corners. You can't get too eager on the accelerator. Grimm does no such thing. He'll cross the line to do a 17.111, improved by 5.5 tenths, and goes 4th fastest so far in the session. Bursey making his way through the middle sector. Low on battery. He's already used these tyres a little bit. Comfortably P3 at the moment. Can he crack into the 1 minute 15s? Potentially challenge his teammate? Well, only time will tell. Vermeil, his teammate, making his way around the notorious right-hander of turn 5. Gets around the corner. Oh, he's not actually using battery, so he's bailed on the lap. Meanwhile, Bursey is up just by a little bit, by 65 thousandths of a second. So I don't think he'll be challenging his teammate. I don't think he'll be challenging the front row. Just be looking to try and improve as he heads back onto the main straightaway, crosses the line, and actually lost time in the final sector, he does not improve. So his PB stays at a 16.727, and I don't think he'll be doing another flying lap. Vermoo and Barmer getting ready for their final runs. It's going to be a head-to-head shootout between the top two in the Drivers' Championship. Who will come out on top? Well, the first to attempt their flying lap is Vermoo in the Ferrari. Down the main straightaway towards turn 1. What kind of peak speed will we see here? 188 miles an hour into turn 1. What about Barmer? 185, 186. So Barmer's got slightly more wing on the car as No Name has crashed out at the exit of turn 4. The Mercedes driver is out of qualifying. The best he can hope for is P10. Round turn 4. Vermoo is down to the first sector. Perhaps a bit distracted by No Name's Mercedes. Down by... Oh, sorry. He's up by 39 thousandths to the first sector. So Barmer's improved. He's found time. Little wiggle out of turn 5, but he's kept it under control as Matty Robbo, he's crashed out. That is at the exit of turn 2, entering turn 3. Round turn 11 goes Vermoo. He's wide. And that isn't an invalidation. You're kidding. He's still down overall, though. As Barmer spun. He has spun at the exit of turn 9. His qualifying session is done. So it's down to Vermoo. He needs to improve by a little over a tenth if he wants to take pole position here at the Hungaroring. Has he found the time? The answer is no. He misses out on pole position by 5 thousandths of a second. Oh, by the slimmest of margins. 5 thousandths. So there we are. It will be Barmer who will start from pole position for this Hungarian Grand Prix. His championship rival just misses out on pole. He will start alongside on the front row. Haha. Just be waiting on Mr. Nortek here to be pushed back into his garage. Once he is, we can move on to the results. Thank you, Jack. Well, I'm hopeful for a decent race. Something that I've always believed in is that field size has never dictated race quality. So even though we might have only 13 cars, I'm still hopeful that we might be able to see something interesting. Results from qualifying. We have Barmer 22 at the top. Oh, he got given a thousandth. It's now only 4 thousandths of a second. 4 thousandths, even closer than what it was before. So the top two in the championship lineup, P1 and 2, excuse me, on the board. Bursey, P3, followed by Grimm in 4th, then Nortek in 5th, Chase 6th, Harris 7th, Dream 8th, Matty Robbo 9th, No Name rounds out the top 10. We have Red Arrow, P11, followed by Schulz, who crashed out in 12th. Dempsey starts from 13th, and we know exactly what Dempsey is going to do. So, that's it, Joe. It only takes 2 cars to produce a good battle. Oh. And if there was any wet weather in this race, strategy would have been interesting as well. I've seen my fair share of wet weather Hungarian Grand Prix over my time commentating. Those tend to be some of the more interesting ones, especially if it's mixed conditions. If we had a dry, wet, dry race, it would be absolutely bonkers in terms of strategy. We're not set to have anything like that, though. It's going to be overcast all the way through, but we shouldn't have any wet weather interfering the race. Yeah, unfortunately, Jack, the weather's set to custom, so we take the real life conditions of the racetrack into account. There wasn't going to be any rain, so we're only having overcast conditions. So if we had some wet weather, that would have spiced things up. But yeah, we're not going to have anything like that. Yeah, you know. Oh, you're changing it, Matthew. Oh, okay. See, with dynamic, it is completely random. you know, it does make it more interesting for us as spectators, especially not knowing what the weather's going to be like. Having it set to custom and knowing what the weather is going to be, it does allow the driver to prepare some more. I remember years ago I used to commentate for a league where we had custom weather, and that's all we did. We looked up the real life weather reports heading into the race weekend. We look at, well, is it going to rain, is it not, and we would prepare accordingly. It's something we used to do. Oh, okay. Came out today. But yeah, fair play. I mean, dynamic, it being completely random, you can't, you know, sweat it out in certain conditions. You can't set a setup for certain conditions. You have to be sort of freeballing it a little bit. And as I said before, it makes it more interesting for us spectators because, yeah, we have absolutely no idea. The drivers have no idea until we head into the race session itself. One thing that would be nice in F123 is that the commentator, or spectator, I should say, get some sort of indication of what the weather's going to be like in the race. That would be awesome. That would be a really helpful tool for someone like me who wants to know that kind of information instead of asking the drivers what the weather is going to be. Anyway, looking at the tyres, we do have a bit of a mix-up. We'll go through the order just quickly. The Obama 22 starting from pole position. He's on the hard compound tyre. Vermu is starting alongside him. He's on the mediums. Burzy in P3, Vermu's teammate, he's on the hard tyre. So a split strategy for Ferrari. We have Grimm in P4 on the mediums. Nortek in P5 on the mediums. Chase in P6 and Harris in P7. They're both starting on the hards. Dream is the last driver starting on the medium compound tyre. Only 4 drivers on the mediums. Then we have Matty Robbo P9, 99 P10, Red Arrow P11, Schulz P12, and Mr. Drake Dempsey starting from the back on the hard tyre. Alright, all 13 cars are now lined up ready to run. We've got 35 laps in front of us, 10 red lights, and we're underway here in Budapest. It's a nice start from Barmer from pole position. Grimm's got a pretty good one as well. He'll be looking to try and pass Vermu into turn 1. Here we go. He's looking around the outside. Can he get it done? He's outbroken Vermu. Vermu's got grip. It's now a drag race heading down towards turn 2. And it's a drag race that I think Grimm will win. He's got the inside line, but Vermu fires it round the outside. He gets the inside line at turn 3 and takes P2 back. Brilliant stuff between Vermu and Grimm there through the opening couple of corners. Burzy in P4. Drake's already up to P6. He's had a ludicrous start, even on the hard compound tyre. He's gone from 13th to P6 in one sector. Through the chicane we go. No passing through here, I'm afraid. It's a one-line corner. It's pretty much a one-line section through this middle part of the lap. You really can't do much. All chase a little bit wide. As Drake tries to go round the outside, he pulls it off. You're kidding. He went round the outside. Oh, and hard into the wall. That's Harris in the Williams and tumbles down to 13th place, making a mistake at turn 11. Oh dear. Surely he got damage from that. Yes, he has. Complete front wing damage on that Williams. Barmer 22 leads the way. 2 tenths in front of his rival Vermu, who is on the attack. Looks to the inside but does not commit to a move. Drake close. Burzy overshoots himself at turn 1. Drake moves through into 4th. His next target will be Grimm in P3. Burzy isn't quite done yet. Now he is. Couldn't fight that. Dempsey had all the speed with that outside line at turn 2. He was able to hang on to P4. Everyone else in the mid-pack doing pretty well. Oh, Burzy a tad bit wide there at turn 4. Always a bit nerve-wracking when you see a car do that, run wide onto the outside curb. Harris coming out of the pits. He's now a real long way behind. He needs a safety car to try and save his race. But what a ludicrous move by Dempsey. Round the outside at turn 10. I've never seen that before. Probably will never see it again. Contact! Oh, and Grimm sent around. Contact between Dempsey and Burzy as Chase moves through into 4th. Oh, Dempsey, Chase, contact. They both get through. And Chase moves up into P4. Not quite, as Dempsey fights down the inside. Gets back in front, stays in P4. Oh, but how awful is that for Grimm? Just minuscule contact. At turn 12, Dempsey's pushing Chase to the inside. Forces Chase to stay in P5. In fact, he's under attack as Nortec looks to the inside, heading into turn 2. Couldn't fully commit to the move there. But I don't think this battle is over as Chase is on the hard compound tyre. See Nortec trying to shadow him close as he can on those mediums as Red Arrow has spun. That is at turn 3. So he's had an oopsie. As Dempsey round the outside of turn 5 into turn number 6. He gets in front. You are kidding me. Out broke Bursey into the chicane. Went right round the outside. He's now into 3rd place. 4.4 seconds behind the top 2. Yes, harping back to what happened between him and Grimm. That is really unfortunate for Grimm. It was very minor contact and there was really nothing Grimm could do. In fact, probably the best thing he could have done is exactly what he did. Gas it up, quickly spin the car round and get it back pointed in the right direction. But still, he's now 4.5 seconds behind his teammate all the way down in P11. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of incident report in regards to that as Vermouth goes down the inside of Barmer at turn 1. Vermouth should have DRS here and does. He pulls away from the Red Bull driver as Schulz. Nortec, what's happened here? Nortec and Matty Robbo battling away as we head down towards turn 2. Nortec with the inside line. Robbo trying to fight round the long way here at the left-hand sweeper. Down the hill towards turn 2. He has the inside line. Robbo moves through into 7th. Nortec down to 8th. So some proper scrapping going on here in the mid-pack. These drivers are really giving it some. You can understand why Nortec's trying to be aggressive. He's on the mediums. He needs to be. Can't waste these tyres. He must utilise the grip they have right now and try and make up track position. At the moment, he's been forced down the order, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, down 3 positions from where he started. A less than ideal start for the Alfa Romeo driver. Now where are we going to look? Keep an eye on Chase, perhaps? Yellow's out. It's Red Arrow again. Poor fella making a mistake out of the chicane. He gets going. A long, long way behind. The car's still intact, which is the main thing. You know, when it's not your day, your main goal is to just survive. Try and get to the end, because you never know what's going to happen. Especially in online league racing. Bursey under attack. Down the inside goes Chase as Red Arrows. Contact! They're both off the road! Oh dear! Chase and Bursey off into the runoff area at turn 1. And the whole midfield flies on through. Bursey down to P10. Chase down to P11. Oh dearie me. So Schul's been vaulted up into 4th. Matty Robbo is now in the top 5. Nortec P6, Dream P7, then the 2 Mercedes of No Name and Grimm. What on earth happened there? Did Chase overcook it into turn 1? It didn't seem like it. It's like the 2 cars hooked together at turn 1. Because they hooked together, they were forced off the road? I couldn't really tell from the camera angle. The 2 definitely made contact on the racetrack before being forced off into the runoff area as Red Arrow elects to retire from the session. Goes completely against my comments of surviving. Oh dear. So he's had enough. We're down to 12. And we got, well, no other way of putting it, 30 laps to go. As the AI dawdles back out. I'm not going to have any... Oh, hang on. I'm going to interrupt myself. We've got a battle on for P4. Schulz and Matty Robbo heading down towards turn 2. Round the outside. Robbo doesn't have the grip. The car gives up. Oh, he might be stuck on the curb. Oh, no, he's got just enough traction. He backs it into the wall. That's probably rear wing damage. He lets the whole field through and eventually gets going. Oh, man. That was weird. The car just sort of gave up mid-corner. There was nothing Robbo could do. He could counter-steer all he likes. The car wasn't coming back. Oh, and Grimace spun. That's at turn 5. Oh, dearie me. The two cars spinning round on the same lap, not too far away from one another. Grim down to 10th, Matty Robbo in 11th. But yeah, just looking at that, he turned in and it's the rear of the car gave up. It just gave up. It suddenly decided it had zero grip, and Matty, yeah, there was really not much he could do. Out in front though, for Moo. 7.5 tenths is the gap, 8 tenths now. That is expected. I mean, Vermou's on the medium tyre. He's got, you know, all the pace in the world right now. Those mediums will take a little while to wear as well, if memory serves me correctly. So long as Barmer stays within a second, he will ultimately give himself a huge benefit heading through towards the end of the race. Yeah, Beyblade 22 is exactly what this game is. It's insane. Yeah, absolutely. Smart driving gets you a long, long way. Especially in races of attrition, which is probably what this race is going to be. We're going to have a few guys spinning out. It's not an easy track, Hungaroring. Oh, and there's another one. It's Dream. Gets pointed back in the right direction. He gets going. Yeah, your comment. It says right there. Calm, smart driving will get you there. That's exactly right. In races of attrition, you need to try and survive more than anything else. As Drake Dempsey sets a new fastest lap. He's on it. He's on the go button. He's closing in. Actually, is he on the go button? Yeah, a little bit. 30-odd%. I've got my eyes on stream. I've got my eyes. I do my best to try and talk to chat and talk about the racing going on. I try. I don't always succeed. Jace around the outside of Bursey at turn 1. These guys are really game going around the outside of people. Haven't seen too many moves down the inside, but around the outside they're going for it. I like it. It's pretty cool. Nortec, a 3-second time penalty. Where have you done that? Turn 4 perhaps? He's exiting turn 5. So Nortec already with a 3-second time penalty. If we have a safety car, that's probably going to hurt him somewhat. Oh, and Dempsey's now within a second of Barmer. This might be interesting. Might. It depends on how hard Barmer wants to hang on to P2. We know how quick Dempsey is. Well, a lot of us know how quick he is, so... Will there be much resistance? I don't know. For us, watching, we're hopeful for a bit of resistance. We like some good battling. As Bursey gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Man, we're not even at the 1/3 mark and we're getting penalties. This track is really not easy. It's a properly tough track. Round turn 2, the gap shrinks some more. It's down to 6.5, 6 tenths. As we go through turn 3. Now Drake has a little bit of dirty air to deal with. I mean, it's not as bad as in previous games, but you still get a bit of dirty air from the car in front that will affect him through these high-speed corners as we head towards the chicane of 6 and 7. Virtual crowd cheering them on. Good to see. Bit weird to see, though, big Brazilian flags at the Hungaroring. Especially considering there's not a single Brazilian on the grid. But anyway, yellows. Is that Robbo or Harris? It is Robbo who was spun at turn 3. No front wing damage from what I can tell. Oh, fair few drivers have spun already. We've still got a long, long, long way to go. Out of the final corner and down the main straightaway. Vermou will begin lap 10 of 35. We've got a long way to go. Drake closing in. Bit of extra help from the slipstream. Oh, look how much he closes in on the brakes. That's insane. Barmer gets a better exit, but that braking performance into turn 1 is nuts. I reckon even if he's 2.5 tenths back, he'd be able to try and send it down the inside. Oh! Big catch. Dream being overtaken by Chase to the inside. Dreamhour breaks him. He's looking around the outside. The chase with DRS open. He's on the racing line. He's in the dominant position to take P7 into turn 2. The chase moves to 7th, Dream down to 8th. Back up to this top 3 scrap. Vermouth, Barmer, Dempsey. Into the final sector they go. On the brakes through turn 12. Now, I talked about turn 1 and 2 being overtaking spots. There is a third sneaky overtaking spot at turn 12. I have seen people try and make sneaky moves into turn 12 before. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one today. As here comes Dempsey. I reckon he can go for this from this far back. I reckon he could. With the braking performance he's got, I reckon he could. But he's not going for it yet. I think he's just waiting. Just waiting for a better moment to try and pounce. Through turn 2. In fact, we might stay on board with him just for a little bit. Turn on telemetry, see how he does it. Navigating around the Hungary ring through turn 4. Nice and steady, hitting his marks. Very early on the power. Very early on the power. As he heads into turn 6 through turn 7. Subscribe for 2 months in a row, thank you, Vico. Appreciate it. As we head around turn 10, up towards turn 11. Again, it's very smooth. This smooth. I wish I could be this smooth and quick. That'd be great. I'm not. So I stick to the commentating. I seem to be alright at that. We get up towards the final corner. Use the low fourth? Yeah, just keep it in fourth. Short shift, okay, interesting. At the apex, so short shift up to 5th gear. DRS open, he's not using any battery. Vermouth, he's weaving now. Vermouth's got a little bit of pressure on the back of him as Barmer looks to the inside. Into turn 1. Side by side on the exit. Tidy power. A tidy amount of power there from Vermouth on the exit. Means he hangs on for now as Barmer looks to the inside of turn 2. Contact! More contact! And Dempsey's found the hole to move through! You're kidding! That was the smallest hole in the world and he's moved through into the lead! How was there a gap? There wasn't a gap, but there was a gap! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness me! Contact between Vermouth and Barmer, slowing them both down, and Dempsey literally threaded the eye of a needle, and he's moved through into the lead. It's not like he's got a grip advantage or anything. He's on 11 lap old hards. He didn't spin on the curb. He got better traction than 2 on the outside, and he moved through into the lead. Oh, that is one of the most random and brilliant overtakes I think I've ever seen. Oh, I've done this for a while now. I haven't seen a move like that before. Executed so well. And this battle ain't over. Barmer and Vermouth, these two go at it hard. I mean, Drake, I think we know he's going to toodaloo off into the distance. But these two, they're not done. They're not done yet. I'll be curious to see as well when Vermouth finally pits in off those medium compound tyres. I don't know how good the undercut is, and to be completely honest, I don't want to drive this track on cold hards. That would be awful. Schulz is doing alright right now. I mean, you got to remember as well, Nortec in P5 is on medium tyres that are steadily wearing out. He has to make a pit stop soon. Schulz, on the other hand, will pit onto a set of mediums. And what those mediums provide, they provide better grip first of all. And they also get up to optimal tyre pressure quicker. Whereas the hard tyre, they take forever to get up to an optimal tyre temperature. And what that means, when the tyres are cold, you've got very little grip. So Schulz is actually in quite a decent position here in 4th. He might not be able to catch the top 3, but I reckon 4th is his so long as he drives tidily. If gap car, something like that. Yes, that's exactly what that was. If gap car. And somehow it all worked out for Drake. Oh. Now, Barmer, he's out of battery. He's out of the go juice. Compared to Vermouth, he's actually got a fair bit. Absolutely. Starting towards the back after that crash in qualifying. Making up 8 spots. Drake's a top split. Well, top split esports rider, so it's no surprise he's gone from last to first. But Schul's keeping out of trouble has allowed him to move up a tremendous amount of positions. No Name, very similar as well, started from 10th, made up 4 spots into P6. Nice and tidy out of turn 7, round turn 8, heading up towards turn 9. Easy on the power as he heads towards turn 10, and then turn 11. Oh, I don't like drivers using that outside curb at the entry to the corner. That outside curb at the entry is a very deceiving curb. It's got a very sharp rise to it, and then it flattens off. And if your car goes onto the flatter bit of the curb, the car gets hooked into it, and you can't turn in for the turn 11 corner. Gotta be careful. Down the main straightaway, Dempsey setting new fastest lap. Heading down towards turn 1. Oh, Obama sends it to the inside. Vermouth sees him coming, leaves him a ton of space, and as a result, he gets a better exit out of the corner. Obama's he's not playing now. He wants the position. And I reckon those mediums are starting to really die off. 15 laps in. They'll be a bit average by this point, I would think. Oh, wiggle through turn 4. You want to be so careful through that corner. It can slip away from you so quickly. There's Drake. Like I said, he's tooting off into the distance. He's going to drive away. And then he's going to put on... Oh, who knows? Maybe he'll do a massive stint on the hards and then put on a set of softs right at the end. Who knows what... Who knows what Drake's going to do. Down towards turn 12. 2 tenths behind. He is all over the back of the Ferrari. When will Vermouth pit? Oh! That was... See him lag back like that. Well, Vermouth's in. Now Barmer's got some clear track to try and put the hammer down and pull away from his rival. So Vermouth, set of hard tyres at the ready. No front wing adjustment, no nothing. Just new tyres. Battle on here between No Name and Chase. Vermouth will come out. Oh, this might be tight. Oh no, less tight than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, back to this. Got a battle beginning for P6 as Chase is... Ooh, he is closing in, and that Alpine's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. He's looking to the outside. He's keeping it on the outside. He's got better traction on the outside. He's got DRS, and he has the inside at turn 2. And he gets in front, and no contact was made. Chase moves into P6. Yellow's out. That is Bursey spinning at the exit of turn 1. So he drops down to P9. Let's see. Through turn 4, up towards turn 5. Nice and steady. No Name. Being very easy with the car right now. He's definitely in survival mode. Chase, on the other hand, he's going for it. That Alpine looked very quick down the straight, so if Chase finds another driver to battle with, I've got to keep an eye on the straight line speed difference. Yeah, Chase looked properly fast down the straights. Now, DK, you pitting? Nope. No, you're not. So he's going a bit longer on his mediums. Vermouth, his tyres about now should be up to temperature. He's done 1 lap on them. He's exited the pits, did 1 lap. They should be pretty close to optimal. Hang on, I can tell. Or maybe just below. They haven't quite reached 90 degrees just yet. 90 degrees Celsius, that is. There's Dream and Grim pit. Oh, Nortec wide. And I think he did that deliberately as well. He made a mistake and then he drove himself into the grass to try and avoid Vermouth. Just so you know, that is a bot. Stream Elements is a bot. So it's an AI that gives links and that sort of stuff. Gaps are pretty big right now. So, who to keep an eye on? Not sure. Well, could keep an eye on Drake. He's just driving very quickly. Doing Drake things out in front. But that's not particularly interesting. Barmer in P2. He's actually recovered a little bit of battery, so he's not pushing absolutely 100%. He's not dumping the battery everywhere to try and pull away from Vermoo. Vermoo, meanwhile, got to keep an eye on this gap. Oh, well, the gap will be shrinking. Yellow's out. It's Dream in the Alpha Tauri, who was spun again at turn 9. That's his second spin of that corner. So he drops down to P11. Yes, that fastest lap. Clear as day indication that Vermoo, his car's good right now. He's got grip, he's got speed, and he's setting fastest lap times. Yeah, an auto message. Yeah. Yeah, Stream Elements does that sort of thing. There's always something at Stream Elements is always the first thing that comments on the stream. Scroll up through chat, should find it. But yeah. Neat little bot to have if you want. Discord links, that sort of stuff. You can ask the bot for those links. Now, the move, fastest middle sector. You can tell from the purple middle sector on the minimap. So, Vermoo's giving it some. He is not slouching around. He knows his battle is with Barmer, who's still out there on mediums. Will be getting pretty close, I imagine. Getting pretty close to the pit window to move on to the medium compound tyre. Nortec finally pits in. He's done 17 laps on the tyres. Yellow's out. Yellow. Was that Harris? I think that might have been Harris. Yeah, getting out of the way. So those yellow flags were for Harris. He was trying to obey blue flags. He went so slowly that he ended up bringing out yellows. Nortec, new fresh tyres being bolted onto the car. He will move out of the pits behind Bursey and behind Matty Robbo. Oh, it's going to be close. Around turn 1. Robbo to the outside. He's got grip. He's got warm tyres, so he, excuse me, moves through into P8. Alright, so we got this pit cycle that we have to go through. Matty still needs to make a pit stop, so his battle isn't with Nortec. He's just trying to survive right now. Dempsey's just putting the hammer down and setting fastest lap times. Barmer's in. So pitting a tad bit earlier compared to Mr. Dempsey, our race leader. You'll move on to a set of mediums. Keep an eye on that red dot that's making its way around the final corner on that minimap. Heading on to the main straightaway. Now, Schulz should get by into P2. But Vermoo, that's a key driver here. And he moves through into P3. That's a considerable gap too. So the undercut has worked quite well as Harris has retired in the pit lane. So he's had enough for the day. He's gone a lap down, so he's elected to retire. Now, Barmer is 3.2 seconds behind Vermoo. And that gap is going to extend. He's on cold tyres. He's not going to have a great deal of speed straight away. But about half a lap into this new stint, the tyres should be up to temperature. He should be able to put the hammer down and catch up to Vermoo. Vermoo, meanwhile, depending on what Schulz has to do here, he might have to battle the Haas driver for P2 on track. Schulz could be pitting in this lap. Dempsey is. Schulz might stay out. If he stays out, Vermoo must battle him. Which is less than ideal for Vermoo. Out of turn 12, up towards turn 13. What does the Haas driver do? Is he in? Does he stay out? He's in. So Vermoo's now given clear track to try and attack. Drake's gone. He's out of the pits already. He's on fresh mediums. He's got the race win. Sign up. Vermoo in P2. Barmer in P3. Schulz. He'll come out comfortably in P4. Put on a new set of mediums and away he goes. Though I just noticed something. He's got a solid red fuel icon on the telemetry. That is a bit of a worry. Let's have a look at how much fuel he has in the car. Alright, he's left the pits. Give me the onboard back. Thank you. Okay, he should be fine. He's just a little bit under. So he should be completely fine. He was like 0.1 under. So, yeah, that shouldn't be much of a problem. Burzy coming out of the pits. Where are you coming out, mate? Ooh, it should come out in front of Grim in P10. Yeah, he will come out in front. Grim's dumping the battery. Try and catch up to Burzy. It won't be enough, though. Burzy might have cold tyres, but I think the gap's a bit too big for Grim to close in. Try and battle the Ferrari driver. Meanwhile, Nortec behind Matty Robbo, who is yet to pit, making his way through the chicane of 6 and 7, up towards turn 8. Down to 4th gear, back on the power. Nice and steady through turn 9, up towards turn 10. Barmer sets a new fastest lap. Not too surprising, he's on fresh tyres, on fresh medium compound tyres, so yeah, not that surprising. Out to turn 12, will Matty pit? Will he stay out? Be a bit of a nuisance to Nortec. Let's see. And he's staying out. He's gambling. He's going as long as he can. Maybe hope for a safety car or something. Try and help him out. The OS open. Robbo moves to the inside. Nortec chases him. Heading down towards turn 1. Deep under brakes. That's the difference in tyres. Fresh tyres versus worn ones. Here comes Nortec again. To the inside, he looks. Robbo tries to fight round the long way. He has the inside line at turn 3. Nortec with the grip though, keeps the fight alive, a little bit of contact. And Robbo gets in front into turn 4. Closely fought racing. A lot of respect being shown. Very minimal contact. So good stuff. Good stuff. Drake setting a new fastest lap, 1 minute 17.430. Meanwhile, Barmer is within a second of his rival, so the battle's on for P2. This was always going to be the tough part of the race for Vermeulen. On the hard compound tyre, he just doesn't have the pace that Barmer has on the mediums. He has to defend like Fernando Alonso, quite literally. If he wants any chance of keeping Barmer at bay, he needs to have a rocket ship in a straight line and park the bus in the middle sector. He cannot give Barmer an opportunity to try and overtake. Nortec still not quite close enough to battle into turn 1. Very tidy run through the opening corner as he heads down the hill towards turn 2. I don't think he'll be close enough to battle here into the left-hand sweeper. He isn't. So Robbo taking a gamble, staying out as long as he can. See what happens. Here's Vermeulen, the man who is second right now, with third right behind. As we head towards turn 13, bring it down to 3rd gear, back on the power, nice and easy. And now Vermeulen really needs to make sure Barmer doesn't get a great run through the final corner. Oh, Barmer's got all the battery to play with though. Vermeulen, does he have enough straight line speed? Not quite. Barmer to the inside at turn 1. He gets in front. Contact, just light contact after the apex. Vermeulen tried to do the over-under. Didn't really work. There wasn't enough room on the inside to do the over-under. Vermeulen stays in P3. It's going to be really tough for Vermeulen to catch up. Long story short, I don't really think he will be able to catch up. The only shot he can give himself is... Oh! Something like that. A mistake from Barmer. He was terribly sideways out of turn 7. Vermeulen needs to stay within a second of Barmer. It would give him a shot. If he stays within a second, keeps the pressure up, he gives himself a chance. Now, Schul's right here in no man's land. He might be a little bit too far away to fight for a podium, but he's well in front of Matty Robbo, and Matty needs to pit. And all that Matty is doing is holding up Nortec. So, Schul's is pretty well set for a P4 finish at this point. Chase is closing in, so we might have a 3-car battle here brewing between Matty, Nortec and Chase here. Alright, this might turn interesting. Is Matty going to do another lap, out of curiosity? Yes, he is. I'm sure Nortec is loving the fact he's stuck behind a car with 23 lap-old hards. I'm sure if I was in his shoes, I'd be quite frustrated right now. But Robbo, there's nothing in the rulebook that states he has to get out of the way. He is more than entitled to defend this position. Down towards turn 2. Nortec trying. Just can't find a way through. Can't find a way past the Great Wall of Williams. What about Chase though? Chase is now on the back of this. The battle is on. And he's on medium compound tyres that are still relatively fresh. Should have plenty of speed. We saw earlier, the Alpine has got quite a lot of straight line speed. Obviously that helps with overtaking, especially into turn 1. Oh, using a fair chunk of the inside curve there. Got to be really careful when you use a lot of curb on the inside of turn 11. Bit of a moment for Nortec as well. Not a great run through turn 12. Chase is closing in. Alright, let's see the straight line speed difference. Does Chase have the measure over both Nortec and Matty Robbo? Let's see. Onto the main straight. DRS open. Look at the straight line speed! The overspeed. Draws alongside. Doesn't quite get in front yet. Nortec outbrakes him into turn 1. Down towards turn 2. Nortec's not giving up. Down the inside goes Chase into turn 2. Hits the inside curb. You've got to be careful. Gets in front before turn 3. Nice move. Chase moves into P6. Now has his sights set on Matty Robbo in 5th. Around turn 5. To avoid that inside curb there at turn 5, you have to avoid it as if it were the plague. Through turn 6, through turn 7. Up towards turn 8. The 4th gear, back on the power. Nice and steady through this section. Around turn 10, up towards turn 11. Again, using a lot of that inside curve. Chase is quite comfortable using that curve. Looks to the inside at 12. Gee whiz! He was a long way back. Robbo kind of saw him coming too. Just left a little bit of that inside line open. Make sure there wasn't contact. Chase should get Matty here quite easily. Well, maybe not as easy as I thought. That Williams is quick in a straight line. To the inside of turn 1. Dives it in. They're side by side through the corner. Chase with better traction with DRS. Contact! And into the wall goes Chase! He's out of the race! Oh no! Is that a safety car? A VSC? Anything? No. Nothing. Oh my word. Contact between Robbo and Chase down towards turn 2. Results in Matty Robbo hooking Chase into the barrier. The Alpine driver is out of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and somehow that ain't a safety car. I don't understand how it isn't a safety car, but it isn't. Oh my goodness. Well, there we are. We'll go back to our race leader here. There's not too much going on around the rest of the racetrack. The gaps are pretty well spread out at this point. Barmer's pretty much set for P2. Those tyres should be okay from here to the end of the race. The move, we've got minus 0.1 under, plus a lap, plus 0.2. The fuel should be alright in terms of fuel. Nortec's fine. Robbo is fine. No Name is fine. Bursey fine. So a couple of drivers with a fuel issue. Oh, Dream has got a really big fuel problem right now, as Schulz and Nortec get 3-second time penalties for multiple warnings. So judging off the mini-map, I think Schulz got that at turn 9, and Nortec probably got it at turn 4, I'd imagine. So yeah, both drivers now have time penalties next to their names. Schulz with 3 seconds, Nortec with 11. Dear oh dear. Burzy with 6 seconds, so might have a battle on between Burzy and Grimm. If Grimm can get within 6 seconds of the Ferrari driver, he could nab a P8. Needs to work hard, try and find about 1.2 seconds in the last, what, 7 laps of this race? Oh no! Oh! Contact between the leader and Dream! Lap traffic getting in the way there at turn 11. Only by miracle that we managed to catch that. So Dream, not sure what happened, maybe trying to get out of the way. He gets a big bonk from Drake behind as Matty Robbo pits in for a set of softs. Yeah, no. That was certainly quite the crash down into turn 2. Must say. Wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of report after that. So, oof. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there with Dream. Just whether he was trying to get out of the way, or Dempsey drove up to his rear end that quickly that he couldn't quite react to what Drake was doing. Yeah, I'd reckon there'd be at least a couple of reports after this one. As see, that's a bit better. Grimm getting out of the way there of Drake. You know, getting off the racing line, letting the leader through. Just want to do it in a safe area. You don't want to do it straight away. Just find a safe area to do it. Get out of the way of the leader. It's always what you got to do. I've noticed over a long time commentating races that in league racing, a lot of drivers just aren't in tune to what you're meant to do in blue flag situations. Sometimes they overdo it. They get out of the way in really awkward spots. And Dream's retired himself. That's a point. Will he be classified? He might have met the minimum lap requirement to be classified. Yeah, now he's at the session. Alright. Well, he's had enough, I guess. He doesn't want to do the final few laps. Yeah, that's me, Buster. It is me. Hello. Yeah. I've been up, down, all around when it comes to racing leagues. And I've been commentating for Contest of Speed for... goodness, how long now? 3-4 seasons? Something like that. For the AM1 tier. Because it works well in my time schedule. So, here I am. Now, Graham under a little bit of pressure from Matty Robbo. Wish the AM2 race would try. Yeah, well. Oh, hang on. I'll interrupt myself again. Here comes Matty Robbo on the soft tyre. Graham really can't do much about this. So, Robbo to the outside. He'll have better grip. He's got DRS to play with. Contact! Oh, you cannot believe it. Graham and Robbo around at turn 1. Oh my goodness. I thought that would be a simple overtake around the outside. Maybe get... oh, and Schulz has spun. Schulz has spun at turn 11 as well. Now, he did this in qualifying. Did he damage his front wing? No, he hasn't. So, we'll be careful. Your tyres are going to be overheating like crazy. Fortunately, he's got a humongous gap to Nortec, who also has 11 seconds worth of penalties. So, it shouldn't be much of a worry for Schulz right now. He just needs to keep it calm and make sure he gets the car to the finish. And by the way, Vermoose caught up to Barber. So... we've had drama everywhere. Graham and Matty Robbo make contact at turn 1, sending them both around. Then Schulz had that oopsie at turn 11. And now we've got a battle back on for P2 somehow. Barber must have made a mistake somewhere. Either that or Vermou's actually got some genuine pace on those hards. Oh, wiggle though! You see that? As soon as he touched the inside curb, the Ferrari said, no mate, I don't have any grip. You're going to have to find it all again. Had a huge wiggle, managed to correct it, but he's lost time. He lost about 3/10. And in a battle like this, especially against your championship rival, you can't afford to lose those tenths. Down the main straightaway once again. Lap 33 of 35. We've got 3 laps to go. Vermou, with DRS, he's still losing time on the straightaway. So Barber maybe using a bit of battery there? Not sure. Using some battery now. He's definitely using some battery. He's trying to break away as Drake gives himself a time penalty, demonstrating to us he is indeed human. Meanwhile, Barber, how much speed has he got here through the middle sector? How much has he got left on those tyres? Hang on, how many laps? 13. This tyre should be alright. He's got lap traffic now. That is Grimm in front, if I'm not mistaken, in the Mercedes-Benz. Look at that gap now, 1.4 seconds. So Vermou losing time here through the middle sector, and Grimm gets well out of the way. That's really well done. That's super well done. I just want to double check. It is. That's kind of what you have to do. Find a nice safe spot. Get out of the way, off the racing line. Let your rivals through. You don't need to dive off the racetrack or anything like that. Just, you know, find a little spot. Out of the way. Get on with it. Yeah, high downforce racetracks interesting sometimes because... Oh, Vermou's in. So he's saying, screw it, I can't battle for second. I'm going to get fastest lap. That's what he's doing right now. He's moved on to a set of softs and he's going to try and send it on the last lap. Because yeah, with high downforce circuits, you can tease the setup a little bit, go with lower wings, and suddenly you become a bullet train in a straight line. Dempsey? Oh my word! He just overtook 2 cars in the middle of a battle. Yellow's out. Is that Robbo? It is. Spinning. That is at turn 4, entering turn 5. Had to gather my thoughts up a little bit there. Forgot what part of the racetrack that was. 1 lap to go for leader Drake Dempsey. Got 21.7 seconds ahead to Barmer, who's just been gifted second. Because Vermou said, screw it, I'm going to put on softs and I'm going to send it. Bersy to the inside of No Name. An ultimately meaningless battle as Bersy's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. So long as No Name doesn't make a mistake and put it into a barrier, 6th place is his. Oh, what an interesting race this has been. Said it in the intro. Passing might be difficult here at the Hungaroring. It's known as Monaco without the walls, but every so often you get a really interesting race happening at the Hungaroring. It could be down to weather, it could be down to strategy, it could be down to people retiring from the race like Matty Robbo just did. So he'll be classified in 9th. And we had a little bit of everything during this Hungarian Grand Prix. Mr. Drake Dempsey avoided pretty much all of it. Except for that astonishing overtake at turn 2. 1 corner remains for the McLaren driver. Head around it nice and steadily. Back onto the main straightaway. Drake Dempsey will win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Barmer will come home in 2nd position. He doesn't have to push here. As we head around top. You know, oh, I see. So that's what happened. That's why Barmer was pushed back into Vermou. I see. Barmer crosses the line home in P2. Vermou's gone purple to the mid sector. He will more than likely snag fastest lap. We'll see what he can do as he makes his way out of the Grimm down to 8th place. Suddenly just dipped down the order. Don't know why that happened. Oh, he's out of fuel! He's out of fuel! He's not going to get fastest lap. He is going to improve on his PB, though. How about that? He ran out of fuel out of the final corner, but his lap was so good, he still improved on his PB. Oh, dearie me. Shields will come home in a very, very respectable P4, starting from 12. P4 for him, Nortec in P5. Yeah, no surprises, Mr. Dempsey's favorite driver of the time. It just poked me in the belly, that was funny. You can tell as well, he was really going for it. Turn on the battery, revving the car out too. He was making sure he got every single horsepower he had left to try and improve, and he did. It wasn't enough though for first lap, unfortunately. Are we not going to get a podium? Oh, come on, game. Please, just... Oh, you did well, Schulz. Well done. This dude in orange did alright as well. Ended up winning the race, you know, 22 seconds, small gap. You know, he did alright. P2 goes to Barmer 22 and P3 to Vermouth in the Ferrari. The unofficial results then of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Drake Dempsey is your race winner with Barmer home in P2 and Vermouth in P3. Schulz from 12th ends up finishing in 4th. Nortec rounds out the top 5. We have No Name P6 followed by Bursey and Grimm with Matty Robbo classified in 9th. Dream isn't classified, so with that retirement he made, he doesn't score. He would have scored a point. Yeah. Chase out of the race, Harris and Red Arrow retiring as well during that Grand Prix. Yeah, this was an interesting one. We had a whole heap of everything in this. Drama, controversy, racing, one doozy of an overtake from Drake. I'm still completely flummoxed on that one. That was something. Oh, that was good. That was good. Oh, coming towards the end, folks. We're getting towards the end of F122. We can look forward to the somewhat early release of F123, mid-June, which is very early. Typically, it's just before the British Grand Prix weekend, more often than not, but now it's mid-June, so... Car did give up, by the way, with the first spin with Schulz. Yeah, no, that ran the outside at turn 2. I think that's what you're talking about, yeah. Just watching that midway through the corner, the back end just said, no, I'm done, mate, I'm a head out. And you had to spin. Weren't really given much of a choice in that one. I mean, there was a lot of talk with F123 and the new handling model, so they say it's going to be more predictable. I can't help but feel it's probably going to be more broken. Because that seems to be a pretty common trend with F1 games, is that they say a lot of things, they add in a lot of things, and they turn out to be more than broken. But yeah, no, that was certainly a very interesting race. Quick shout out to the top 3 again. Vermouth, P3, solid points again, keeping yourself in the championship fight. Unlucky that you didn't get fastest lap. I know you tried, you gave it everything right at the end. Unfortunately, you had no fuel left. Barmer outscoring Vermouth. You're going to extend your lead? I'll quickly check my own notes. No, you're going to take the lead in the Drivers' Championship. Not by much, but you got the lead back heading into the next round. And congrats again to Drake. I mean, yeah, look, We all kind of expected it. I think Drake expected it. He wasn't expecting that overtake at turn 2 though. That's still astonishing. One of the best I've ever seen. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 14 of the AM1 Championship at Yas Marina Circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That might be an interesting one, I don't know. Abu Dhabi, it's a 50-50. It's either a complete ball fest or one of the most dramatic races that you will see in a season of racing. So stay tuned. Never know what you're going to get. Until then, it's goodbye.